Hey, what's up, BookTube? This is Juan from Just One Reader. Tonight, wearing my Woody Allen t-shirt, which I adore. And tonight I will be discussing and reviewing the latest books that I've read. And if my count is correct, these are recent reads, numbers 27 through 29. I should know better, but I'm not really sure. I hope I'm right. So let's just jump right in. The first book was An Unattractive Vampire by Jim McDaniel. This book follows our protagonist, Ulrich Beil. He is a vampire, but not what we consider nowadays to be a modern vampire, no. Ulrich Beil is like the epitome, the original vampire, your old-school Dracula-esque type of vampire. So he wakes up one day after centuries of slumber in our modern society. So just imagine his shock to wake up in a society, in a place, I'm not sure if it's in the US, I think it's in the US. And he wakes up to find himself really insulted, humiliated, and cross with the simple idea of, modern vampirism, and that a vampire nowadays is conceived as a very fit, muscular, attractive, very intelligent, sort of melancholy, sort of goody type of creature instead of the violent, satanic, blood-feasting creatures that he thinks vampires should really be. So this book follows him as he tries to understand not just what a modern vampire is and why that is, but just the real modern world and the simple things in life like electricity or iPads, iPhones, TV shows, all those kinds of things that are part of our society. So this book was really funny. It was intended to be very funny. It's so hilarious, and if you're looking for a funny, witty book, this one is definitely a good one. It has a lot of footnotes, and Jim McDaniel sort of breaks the fourth wall in those footnotes because he addresses you, the reader, directly, and creates this kind of disconnection between the actual narrative and you, the spectator of this show, of his book. So it's really funny. I do recommend it. I was kind of bored with the plot, and I don't think there was a lot of character development and a lot of characterization overall for the characters, except for Ulrich maybe. But yeah, it sort of left a little bit to be desired, but I overall really enjoyed the humorous aspect of it. It was really, really funny, and I gave it 3.5 stars on Goodreads. Then after that, I read a book that probably deserves the title of my biggest disappointment so far this year, and that was The Light Tree by Frances Hardinge. Because I wasn't just expecting to like this book, okay, but to really fall head over heels in love with it, and that was not the case. I did enjoy the first half of it, maybe, or at least the first section of it, and I thought the writing was very beautiful and very atmospheric and really well done for a YA novel. This is a YA novel, by the way, I should have said that earlier. But the plot just felt very long and too dry, and I was very bored throughout the entire experience. I didn't feel satisfied. There were some really good elements, and I think this would have worked a lot better in a shorter format, like a novella or even a short story. I think would have been a more effective way of delivering this story. I did enjoy Frances Hardinge's writing. It was really beautiful, but it was so boring. I was like, Jesus, get to the point, woman. And lastly, I read a book that it's gonna be so difficult to talk about this book because I loved it. That's all I know right now. I finished it about 2 or 3 days ago, and immediately after I finished reading it, I was very well aware that I had loved it and enjoyed it, and that it was really important, and that it was a book that was going to give me some sort of hangover. And now, a couple of days after, not only does that stand true, in that it's given me a hangover and everything, but now I've even grown and learned to appreciate it even more. So You know, this year I've been really stingy with my 5-star ratings. I haven't given any book a 5-star rating this year. The closest I've been to a 5-star rating has been like a 4.75. And I'm thinking that this book, which by the way is Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk, is... I'm still not sure if this is the book that I've been waiting for all year long to give 5 stars to. I'm still not sure. I still don't want to decide. I don't want to rate it. I gave it 4 stars on Goodreads because you need to rate a book something, but I could bump it up to a 5. I think I'm waiting for the test of time to decide, because this book was spectacular. It was so confusing. It was violent, it was greedy, it was very well written, it was so interesting, it was discomforting, it was uncomfortable. The writing is very minimalistic in that every sentence feels sharp and everything is sort of fast and changing, and every chapter feels like a separate short story in a way, like every chapter was a perfect gem in itself. And as I finished, when I finished, I read the afterword, and Chuck Palahniuk says that chapter 6 of this book was actually a short story called Fight Club, and that was the original piece from which the novel later grew from. And that chapter 6 is really like the perfect short story. It's wonderful. I read that chapter and I immediately was like, what the hell? This is perfection. Perfection. And like I said, I'm still not sure if this book deserves the 5 stars that I have sort of idolized and idealized. I'm not sure how to say it this year, but it's very close. I had no idea what Fight Club was about. I knew there was a movie, but I was very ignorant about it. And I finished it, and that same night I went on and saw the film, and the film was also perfect. Like, I don't see a single flaw in that movie. Everything was perfect, everything was beautiful, and it was a damn good adaptation. So I'm not really sure what to say about Fight Club. All I would say is, read it. I was very hesitant to pick it up. Chuck Palahniuk is one of those very obscure writers to me. I was aware that he existed because, you know, in the bookstores they always have like 150,000 copies of his books, at least that has been the case for me. Like, he's always there, he's always present in the bookshelves, but I never really had heard anyone talk about him or his work, or, you know, where to start with Chuck Palahniuk. And if you are watching this video and you know what other book by Chuck Palahniuk I could read, or, you know, what's the direction that I could go, please let me know, because I do want to read more. I think I've heard that Haunted is a good one, and I think he has Snuff. I think he has like some sort of series or trilogy going on, Damned, Doomed, something like that. I'm really not sure, and I would like to know more recommendations about Palahniuk. And that was it, you guys. Thank you very much for joining me for another Recent Reads video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, and I will see you on the next video.